Hi, I'm Paul Rees, and this is
Debra Rees.
Yes, and we are mediums, psychic mediums. I've been doing this for about 10 years, but it feels like 20. It really does. And yourself, Deb?
Yep, same thing. Well, about 10 years.
10 years, and we'll be together 10 years and maybe a week. We truly are there. And who are we? Yes, we are the founders of Accolade Academy of Psychic and Mediumistic Studies. And that academy is?
The academy is all about training people, training mediums. Well, actually, it's not training, it's bringing out what's already there because we're all born mediums.
Yes.
And what we want to do is get as many mediums out there as possible to give peace to people.
And our goal in life is to change the perception of mediumship in itself.
Yeah.
To take away all the mysticism and bring it right back down to earth so the everyday person knows that this is something they can do.
This is not a gift, it's an ability we all have.
Absolutely.
What is mediumship to you?
Mediumship to us is the relaying of messages from our loved ones in spirit who have passed to the people that are here.
Evidential messages.
Evidential, you have to have evidence in there because what we're doing is we're proving survival. That's what mediumship is to us. You prove survival, that your loved ones have lived on and that you're going to see them again.
I like that. That's enough for me too.
What is evidential mediumship?
Evidential mediumship, primarily for myself or for anybody practicing or conducting evidential mediumship. Evidential mediumship is information relaying to your recipient about the contact you have from spirit that is personal to them. Names, dates, personality, descriptions, the life they had together, the memories that the recipient remembers from the client, that the contact in spirit, how they passed, personal details, and intricate information that has substance to it. That is what evidential mediumship is. When did I first know that I was a medium? I would say 2 weeks before I became a medium. 2 weeks before I actually started working professionally within mediumship. There was no lifelong introduction. So I feel my introduction to mediumship was from the very first breath that I took on this earth. But my reality of being able to use my mediumship was 10 years and 2 weeks ago. And I've been doing this for 10 years. Can anyone be a medium, or is it a gift? Anybody walking this earth has the same potential as the next to be a medium. Anybody can use their mediumship, develop their mediumship. It's our birthright. It truly is. This is not a gift, it's an ability that we all have.
Spirit.
Wow, how do you know when a message is from spirit? Do you know, in many ways that comes with just a practice. It comes with just a continuation of knowing that the thoughts you get could not belong to you because they don't relate to any significance of your life, any significance to you.
You need to protect yourself while doing mediumship.
So is there a need to protect yourself while doing mediumship? Absolutely not. Why would we have to do that? Why would we have to protect ourselves from something that is considered to be one of the most loving things you could possibly ever do in your life? I mean, protection is such a negative word in what we consider to be such a positive movement, such a positive religion and a positive, development process in your life. Why would we need to protect ourselves? I just can't see the need of that. I mean, we are what we eat, and we certainly are what we think. So if I wish to attract something negative in my life, then I will absolutely do so. If I wish to go to a bar and get myself a fight, then I can do that, no worries. So if I wish to sit and say, well, I feel that I've got something negative in my shoulder, then the likelihood is I have thought that myself. Again, all my 10 years of practicing evidential mediumship, never, ever, ever have I ever felt anything negative, ever, whilst working or after working. Do spirits follow you or stick with you after you've conducted a reading? I mean, I often say to clients, you know, if you were giving me a one-to-one reading and then my dad went home with you after giving me a reading, I would be pretty disappointed with my dad that he went home with you and not with me. So again, in all my years of conducting one-to-one readings, never ever have I wished, or has the spirit that I've worked with wished to come home with me in any way whatsoever. It's a myth. It truly is.
Do spirits talk to you all the time? Can you turn it off?
Firstly, you know, I wouldn't understand why a spirit would want to talk to somebody all the time. You know, it just feels as if, you know, they would be invading our life constantly. So I feel as if, yes, because maybe there's no time over in spirit, you know, we're in linear time here, they don't have that there. So maybe they would communicate with you. But to be honest, I feel as if they were to communicate with you to start with, it would be to get your attention, rather for, you know, for you to get you working or to get you involved in spiritualism or whatever. But I'm not sure that they would talk to you all the time. Of course you can turn it off. It's just a matter of where your perception is. Okay, so if I want to have my perception or have my focus, shall we say, on the wallpaper over there, then I can do that. But I can also not focus on that wallpaper. So it's up to me, really, not spirit. It's up to you whether you want them to be talking to you all the time. You certainly have a say in that, definitely.
How do we receive messages? It's in the simplest way that we could possibly imagine. Our feelings and thoughts, and nothing more. We have thoughts and feelings that then quickly, second by second, just relay themselves into words. And those words then are just, from spirit to me, it kind of works together and out it comes. And so yes, so when receiving a message feels like your own thoughts and feelings, but slightly not, if you can imagine that.
Do spirits tell us what we don't want to hear? Okay. In my opinion, the only time that they would ever do that is if there was a way that you could change the outcome. Okay, so if it was a little bit of a warning somewhere, or it was something that you weren't supposed to go through in this life, it wasn't part of your plan, then I would say yes. But it's very, very, very rare. The reason is because spirit, all of this, you know, there's so much negativity, you know, that's been put out there for centuries about spirit and the way they work and this kind of thing, you know, that people are looking for the negative all the time. And you know what? There is no negative. So spirit would not tell me something to tell somebody else to scare them to death, or, you know, to make them worry until, you know, a certain event is supposed to happen. Like if somebody's going to pass away, spirit never tell me. I've asked them not to anyway. So we got a double whammy of I'm not going to ask, you know, I'm not going to, you know, give that information to somebody, and they wouldn't give it to me anyway, because I mean, it's just hurting people.
In all my years, I've never given any message to any client or recipient that has any information that in any way sort of disturbed, upset, or that was, you know, hurtful to that client.
It's a loving process.
It just doesn't happen.
Right. So they wouldn't come and they wouldn't make you worry for no reason. So so go on.
If that does happen, then what has happened is the ego of the medium and their own perception, their own almost view on an event has come in. You see, their thoughts are now overlapping the thoughts that they would be getting from spirit.
Absolutely, because they wouldn't be coming from spirit.
And they are now sabotaging the reading.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And also, you know, it's just what people have to realise about spirit and the communication of it, it's a loving thing. I think people forget that. Mm-hmm. They forget that if they're going to come through and talk about your life, it's going to be your loved ones that's going to be talking about your life. So when we say spirit as a big blanket, you know, spirit would give you this. Would your loved ones, would your mum, would your dad, would your brother, would they come through and say something really like to make you, you know, oh, somebody's going to pass away in 6 months and make you worry to death? They're not going to do it. It's a loving process.
Okay.
Okay.
How do loved ones typically communicate after they passed? Now, this has to be, wow, it's like an a never-ending answer. So I'll try and simplify it the best I can. They communicate through feelings, thoughts, and emotions. Through thoughts that you feel are your own, but not quite your own. Through your imagination. And that is basically it in a nutshell.
Yeah, can I add to that list though?
Yeah, why
okay,
not?
because I'm feeling like, well, I know that spirit will also definitely communicate via synchronicities.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, smells is a really good one for them. Okay, because what a smell will do is bring you a nostalgic feeling straight back to your loved one. Okay, so if your mum always wore Chanel No. 5, and all of a sudden you're in a vicinity where there's no perfume anywhere, and all of a sudden you're smelling Chanel No. 5, that's mum saying, hello, I'm here. They use the media, they use, it's like if you, say like you had Uncle Bob pass, and then one day...
I have an Uncle Bob.
Do you?
Yeah.
I should know that. You have an Uncle Bob, or is it Ron?
No, Uncle Bob.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so say like you're at traffic lights, and Uncle Bob was passed a couple of weeks ago, and then you sat at the traffic lights, and a big truck goes past, and all it's got on it is Bob. That's going to be a synchronicity from Uncle Bob to say, hello, I'm here.
Okay, and then I'm going back to the feelings and thoughts there. Let's say that you're in your day, going about your business, and having no thought of, just for this conversation then, you've got a mum passed in spirit. But you're having no thought of mum passed, you're not consciously thinking of her, but out of the blue, you have that thought of mum. Now, you haven't sent the thought to get that thought back, it's just wham, it's you there. And with that thought comes this nostalgic feel of, I love you. There it is. Yeah. That's the simplicity. Your mum has just made your link with you, has made that contact and just told you she loved you. It's not your thought, because you didn't consciously send that thought to get that thought back. That's the simplicity of mediumship in a nutshell. That's how these guys work. You do it every day. Right,
and the other thing is that people feel it's the opposite. Like if we're feeling down and we're feeling sad and all those kinds of feelings, it's more difficult for them to actually get to us, because there would be, it's an energy, it's a science, so the energy would be thicker around us. So that's why, like a lot of times when somebody's passed over, and people feel abandoned by their people, because I haven't heard from them, I haven't had the smell, I haven't had any of these things that would be a sign from them. Everybody's waiting for a sign. Generally, it's because we're grieving, and we have that extra layer of energy around us that they find hard to get to. It's not easy for them to do what they do, to use the synchronicity. We all want our loved ones to just stand at the end of the bed in the middle of the night and say, hello, how you doing? But it takes so much, and they have to learn how to do that. They have to learn, again, how to use energy and manipulate it in order to do that. That's why they must be so frustrated. They've done all this thing to create this lovely synchronicity, of Bob on the truck, and somebody says, wow, that's a coincidence, but they just put it to a coincidence. Yeah. Try not to do that.
Are you asking then, do spirits talk to us in a sense of all the time in our day-to-day life, or are you asking that, do I wish spirits to talk to me all the time?
I'm asking if spirits talk to you all the time and you can't ask them to stop.
So let's say that we have a volume button. And there's a volume button in the back of my head. I turn it down, I turn the volume down. I turn it up, I turn the volume on. But if I choose to sit in a room full of people, or walk through a store or a bar or anything, and sit and invade someone's privacy by thinking, well, maybe they got a mom in spirit, and I wish to. I mean, for me, they have no right to do that. So the reality is, I would say that we could say that spirit talk to us all the time, but it's unnecessary for us to wish the want for spirit to talk to us all the time, because if we are promoting that kind of invasion in people's lives, generally that would come from the ego of the medium wishing to exploit something.
The Accolade Academy Universal Mediumship Management Program.
Wow, that's a new program that we are that we're introducing. It's been a few months in the making, and I'm so excited about this one. This is just great. I mean, we've seen, you know, there's been development circles that are all over the world, and these circles run night, you'll see there's thousands and thousands everywhere. But you know, we decided there's times for change, and today that the Universal Mediumship Management Program, that was the change that we decided. It's a new program that we're introducing to circles to take away the name circle for a start. I mean, this is so Jurassic in itself. It has no structure, no momentum to it. There's not a need for it. So the program is about development. The Universal Management Program, it is about yourself. It is about you. It's your oath to your spiritual responsibility. That's what this program is about. This program is about sharing your thoughts, your journal. It's about bringing that into your life. This is a program that we've been working on for the last few months now. Within ArcLake, what we are seeing is that, yes, the wonderful traditional circles that are going throughout globally, you know, people are running these circles. But what we see is that, as wonderful as they are, that there's also a need for the circles to have more structure. And you know, the circles were a big part of my life 10 years ago, but I see that, like anything else in the world, there's always a need for movement, there's always a need for growth, for it to modernize itself, and that's where we wish to take, you know, the title circle and replace that with the Universal Mediumship Management programs that we're introducing. And these programs, you know, they are something that we have worked on for these last few months, and these are going to bring structure to the person's development, but also where they have that personal intuition from ArcLake Academy. The journals are places where they share all their feelings, thoughts, growth. Everything is put in this. And this to ArcLake Academy, back to the head office there, and then you get a journal sent back, and that journal is specifically customized to yourself, your development, your needs. It really is. It's a revolution in circle work, and that is what the Universal Mediumship Management Program is about. Oh, your little journal, which is my oath of spiritual responsibility. It truly is.
What does the Universal Mediumship Management Program provide to the student that a typical mediumship circle would not?
Professional tutoring, certification, structure, growth in your mediumship that will get you to a place where you can conduct your mediumship on a professional basis. That's what the management program offers. A mediumship circle can be one of many things. It can be a circle where just those carrying the same interest in their intuition, in developing their intuition, meet up maybe once or twice a week and share conversations. Or a mediumship circle can be where you have a leader, an organizer, there where you meet up once a week and you have structure to the events of that evening, where you're all sharing again the same interests and going through various exercises to expand your intuition and to grow your mediumship.
How will your book, We Are All Born Mediums, benefit the reader?
It'll benefit immensely, because what it is all the mistakes that Paul and myself have been through, and all the hard times we've put into the book. Not as in an autobiographical way, but in a way of exercises and the way to easily work with your mediumship from beginner to, you know, an ongoing. No, it's gone.
Yeah, but let me come in also.
See, you like that question.
Because the book, grab a book with it, Deb. The book is probably one of the most simplistic reads you'll ever read when it comes to developing your mediumship. And do you know why? Because when it came to writing, I can only write easy. I'm dyslexic, so for me it had to be very simple, very easy and very readable. This book will just be like, when you read this book, it'll bring highlights to what you've already experienced in your life. It'll bring forward what you already know. We're telling you what you already know, but in a way that you'll understand. There's no exaggeration, there's no mysticism. It's just, this is how you can do it. Go ahead and get on with it.
Avoid these pitfalls, do it this way.
Absolutely. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Sure. I was at Shauna's house, and I went there for a reading with Paul. And I had been at a gallery reading before. And I was really impressed with how in-depth and intuitive and the specific details that I heard from him. And I really have to say it was more like a psychic therapeutic session. It wasn't just your loved one is on the other side and they love you. It was a lot of very, very specific communication with a deceased partner who I'm very, very close to. And so I am still, it is unfolding yet, all the information, and has continued to since that reading. And it was very long, very in-depth, very detailed, relationships, career, because I'm sort of in a transition from the death of this person. It's been 3 years now. And so it's been sort of a transitional period. And I would say this has been a great guide as far as helping me to, have insight and make decisions and have less doubts and a little more faith in the universe. And I aspire to be this type of, this type of medium at some point. I think it's, when you go through an experience like that, the best thing you can do is to help someone else through that. And this was one of the most helpful things. If I had not been in touch with this kind of experience, I would be a different person today. So, yeah. Sure.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm Ned, and I, until I met Paul and Debs, I had never thought I had this intuition. And in their classes, they are very, guiding of this. And so in the class, I was just stunned at the information I got, because I thought it was always other people who had this gift. And so since I took those classes, I kind of see myself in a new light. And I kind of see that, if I practice this, if I focus on this more, I can help others. And the most important out of all of this is that it's healing for people. So I really like that.
Great, thank you.
That was fantastic.
Thanks.
What were you expecting when you went into Paul and Deb's workshop, and what did you get out of their workshop?
When I went in, I wasn't really expecting much. It was almost like we went in there for fun and to explore new things and meet people we knew had similar interests. And as the days went on, I guess I realized that we weren't alone in the world and that we all have really unique interests, and we all can do so many things with our mediumship and our psychic abilities. And Paul and Deb have definitely helped us grow with everything we've ever done. And, we're not alone in the world, and it's really nice to have that with them.
How long were you in the workshop before you delivered your first message from Spirit?
The first workshop, I was probably in there an hour maybe. Yeah, and we jumped right in, feet first, in the deep end, and we learned how to swim really quick.
And would you go to Paul and Deb's workshop again if you had the opportunity?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And have you recommended Paul and Deb's workshop to others?
Absolutely. Hundreds of times. Whoever I meet, whoever is interested in this field, I definitely tell them about Paul and Deb.
Have you talked to other people about Paul and Deb's?
Yes, many times.
And what is their reaction to their experiences with Accolade Academy?
when I tell them about it, I think people don't believe it. And then when they experience it for the first time and they meet Paul and Deb and they have those one-on-ones or the workshop meetings or demonstration, it really shows the quality behind them.
How would you say they compare to what's considered the stereotypical
They're-
psychic?
They're not stereotypical psychics. They're actually psychics and actual mediums, and they actually know what they're doing. And they do it very well.
Have you ever had a private reading with Paul or Deb?
I have.
And what was that like?
Amazing.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, my mom's not here anymore, and I've had many readings before my mom passed and after my mom passed, and there was things that were said that nobody would ever know besides my mom and I, or my sister and I, and my sister's had numerous readings with Deb and Paul, and my sister was a huge skeptic when this all started, and now she's a firm believer in everything that happens, and my father's the same way. He's a Republican, hardcore Catholic raised man, and he definitely believes in Paul and Deb.
What is one word to describe a reading with Paul and Deb's?
I don't think there's really one word. There's not. It's unique. They're very unique, but they're powerful. They're very powerful people, and the things that have come across are just unreal.
Did you feel a sense of healing or comfort?
Absolutely.
from a private reading?
Absolutely. It's like a therapeutic for a lifetime, though.
Would you like to learn mediumship for yourself?
Absolutely.
And are you a student of Accolade Academy?
I am.